In this video, I'll show you how to format our final combination chart. Remember, the combination chart has the bars that represent the count of the number of transactions in each category, and the line which represents the sum of the amount spent within each category. I'm going to add in chart titles and axis titles. You could use the plus for chart elements or go into add chart elements and add them using each of the individual buttons. Where you have to pay a little bit of special attention for this combination chart is you'll need to add both a primary vertical axis title and a secondary vertical axis title because we have two y-axes. For the title, I'm going to call it number of transactions and total amount spent by category. I then need to capture those pieces of information on the axes. So this one is total amount spent on our secondary y-axis in dollars. And on our primary axis, that's just a count of the number of transactions. So you can call it count of transactions or number of transactions. And on the x-axis or horizontal axis, that is where we have listed all of the 9 different categories of payments. Once you've added the labels, that is the most important step for making a really clear chart. Something else that I think prevents this chart from being as clear as it could is the slanted labels for the categories. To make these easier to read, I am going to double click on those labels and my format axis pane will appear. Once this appears, you will need to change to the size and properties tab. Automatically, it will be on the axis options tab, but we want size and properties, where we can change our text direction. I am going to say that I want to rotate all text 270 degrees, and then it will put the text directly in line under each bar, which I think makes it a lot easier to read. You can either leave that open, or again, double click to open up the menu or the pane on the side, and from this drop down where it says axis options, I'm going to change it to series sum of amount spent. From there, I'm going to go to the fill and line tab, which is depicted with this little paint can icon. Within the fill and line tab, what we're able to do is look at some different options for markers. So we have line options and marker options. I want to select marker options, and I want to turn them on by looking at this little, clicking this little radial button for automatic. Notice that all of the points will then be highlighted with a round circle instead of there being no markers or no points. You could also control what that looks like. You could make it like a square, a diamond, a triangle instead, and also change the size as well as the fill and the border around those points if you wish to do so. We won't make changes to them at this point. We'll just leave them as the little round orange circle. That's meant to help show you exactly each number for the total amount spent, so to make it just a little bit more obvious. Finally, so far we have been removing the border from all of our plots. I want to show you how you can add a more obvious border if you wish to do so. If you click anywhere on the chart area, instead of turning off the shape outline to make it none, this time I'm going to put it in orange color and make it weight 1. This will make an orange border that matches with my orange line. So we have changed this combination chart to have appropriate labels. We fixed the text. We added some markers to make each of those data points on the line part of the combination chart more obvious. And we've also added a border. These are steps to make our combo chart more visually appealing and hopefully help you to look for patterns about your information, like that although you might be spending or making the most miscellaneous types of transactions, overall the total amount spent on those miscellaneous transactions is not that high. Whereas your mortgage payments, you don't have very many of them, but you spend a lot, is what the line chart in orange shows on those payments. So this is meant to show you, or at least give you some idea of the differences and relationship between these two variables, where the bars are showing total transactions and the line is showing the total amount of money spent. Combination charts can highlight this information even though these two variables are measured on very different scales, with the number of transactions just going up to 14 and the total amount spent going up into almost the $5,000 range.